But again, let's talk around the politics here, where Bill Shorten, when he was the leader, Stephen, took 13 months to eventually back in what was announced in 2018. The Liberal Party now, in 2 weeks, has turned around and is going to back in these tax changes. Now, is this a sign that one side's allowed to drag the ball and the other absolutely has to come to it? Or is there a political reality here, which is that if you're the Liberal Party and you're the low tax people, you've got to get on board and you've got to get on quick? Because you could see the swagger in the Parliament today. So people like Joe Hildebrand are out there writing that, look, you know, the broken promise doesn't matter, they're all liars. Well, then what's the point of election campaigns? Because we only care about the dollars in the skyrocket. I just found it amazing. 13 months to back in the original plan. 2 weeks is the turnaround, and the media just turned within 7 days on what will the opposition do?
Well, that's because they've got to vote on it in the next few days. So it's really simple in terms of when you're in government, you get an opportunity to put people's feet to the fire. And that's exactly where Peter Dutton is today. Now, I've sat in the shadow cabinet room in opposition for far too long. 11 and a half years I managed to be lucky enough to do the first time, and 3 years the second time before I retired. But you get awful choices and you've got to vote. You can't just hide. You can't get your friends in the media to run cover for you. You actually have to, as we say, put up your hand. So Peter Dutton has to put up his hand. And what we're seeing at the moment is the Libs trying desperately to pretend that they're not now breaking their promise, their solemn oath at the last election.
Come on, Stephen.
I mean, you've made it. You're voting for Labor's tax package.
No,
you're
we
voting
are the
for it. And what's better
taxes.
is
it doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
No, you're not. No, you're not. That you don't get to talk that
Stephen,
rubbish when you look at the actual facts.
Let me tell you what the options were. Stephen, the options are dealing with the coalition and us not standing in the way of a tax cut, or that we don't support this and we see the Labor Party go to the unicorn farmers in the Greens. I mean, Albanese, I think, slept through his economics degree. These guys were doing gender studies and basket weaving. They've never seen an economics book, let alone understand the basics of it. What the Greens would push through, what the Greens would have demanded would have hurt the Australian economy more than this is going to already. But what's going to happen? This isn't a tax break. Everyone's got to stop thinking that they're getting lower taxes. This new package being put forward by Albanese is going to generate $28 billion over the next 10 years. $28 billion.
As I said last week,
you and I talked about this
your
the
weakest
other day.
argument.
5 referendums
your weakest
a year,
argument.
mate.
Find a different one.
5 referendums a year. 5 referendums. It's a tax grab.
As Albo said today,
it is a tax grab.
As Albo said today in Parliament, last week,
killing aspiration.
Peter Dutton said last week, let's have an election on this. Now he's voting for it. Why are we having the election? It's like, mate, it's humiliating. This is one of those days you just want to be over.
And say that would be irresponsible.
That is the first time since 2007 I've heard the coalition say, come and deal with us, because it's worse to deal with the Greens on climate policy, on whether it's your whatever.
Stephen,
whatever. I know it's worse dealing with the Greens.
I'm happy to have you with me in the Senate and listen to these unicorn farmers. They are out of control.
Oh my goodness!
Bob Brown and environmental. It is just destruction.
Oh my goodness!
Total destruction these guys would have.
All right. Quick break.
I'm seriously, I'm in shock. I could faint, Paul, before the end of this segment, because the coalition have decided it's more responsible for Australia to vote with the government against our own policy than it is to make them go and deal with the unicorns, to borrow your phrase.
No,
that is an extraordinary
no lefties.
You just want this to go away.
She is part of the Man Cave crew. She never backs down from a fight and always tells it like it is. You know, it's not all bluster for and bark. She's got focus, ideas, and she will achieve them. We need people like Hollie in the parliament, not just in the national debate. We love you, mate.
Vote for her in a pre-selection. I couldn't agree with you more. The Liberals need Hollie Hughes.
All right, put that on the...
Vote one, Hollie.
Yeah, put that on the card. All right,
I'll
quick
put
break.
that
Back
on
with
my
more
brochure. Thanks, Dave.
Live.